What's going on, people? Hope everyone's good. So yeah, I've seen this, and this is what I feared the most. You know what I mean? This is what I knew would come if things didn't turn around. Now it's rumors, obviously. Nothing's been confirmed, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. You know, he has an unwanted record for the most starts in the Ferrari without a podium. Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc now has 6 podiums. Yeah, the last one was a bit naughty, how he acquired it. But overall, he has 6 podiums to Lewis Hamilton 0. It's been very underwhelming. This is what I was trying to explain to people. People saying, oh, he's still new to the team, X, Y, Z. Well, what has Charles achieved? That's all fine. You can say all those things. That's fine. He was brought into Ferrari for a reason. And it's not working. You know? Now, yes, the car isn't fantastic. It's far from fantastic. But realistically, the Ferrari is, or was it, P2 in the championship. So it's not the worst car on the grid, is it? I think Mercedes may have usurped them. But it's a very close battle. Very, very close battle. This is why I always talk about keeping it real and being real with what you're seeing and holding people to the same standard universally, because yes, you may support someone, you may not like what you're seeing, you may not like how people are reacting to their struggles, right? But ultimately, if they're not performing, they're not performing. Reputation can't save you in Formula One. Realistically, in some sort of way, reputation did save him, because he wasn't enjoying time at Mercedes towards the end. You know, George Russell was getting the better of him. Now, Fred Vasseur backed him up. When people were saying, oh, are you worried out with how Lewis is performing? And he was like, listen, Lewis started 10th and finished on George Russell's gearbox in Vegas. We're good. He's going to be good. So even though he had, you know, towards the end of his career at Mercedes, towards the end of his time at Mercedes, you know, it didn't go well, or wasn't going well. Ferrari still believed when he got into their car, he would excel. Now, bar the sprint win, right? There's been nothing else there. Realistically, yes, lately he's been matching Charles a bit more lately, and we'll never really know what would have happened in Mexico, which is unfortunate. But overall, this season it's been underwhelming. He's getting paid big, big money to be a part of that team, that brand, right? And you know how ruthless Ferrari are. They got rid of Sebastian Vettel for Charles Leclerc. They got rid of Fernando Alonso because he was thinking that he's bigger than the team. Yeah? What do you think is going to happen to Lewis Hamilton? Now, the good part of this is, again, the same thing that I said. Nothing has been confirmed, which also means there's still time for him to, you know, change that reality. He needs to get a podium, hopefully, by the end of the year. And next year, he needs to hit the ground running. He needs to be there, matching Charles, beating Charles, taking the fight to him from the first round, the first Grand Prix, as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, this will become reality next year. It will. You know? It's sad. Like, it's really sad. You would never want to see Lewis Hamilton go out like this, go out like how Schumacher went out, effectively. But with life, we never know. We never know what's around the corner. We don't have hindsight. We can't predict things. Realistically, we can only guesstimate. We can only guess and make assumptions, and sometimes it adds up, sometimes it doesn't, you know. But Lewis still is the greatest driver this sport has ever seen, even though right now he's not driving that way. He's achieved so much, and it's just unfortunate what happened, you know, with Ferrari changing their car. Because I really feel like if they had the car from last year, he may have been able to fight. He would have been fighting for this championship. Him and Charles Leclerc. Look at Lando Norris almost winning his first championship. Ferrari almost won the constructors last year. So they definitely would have been in the mix. It's just really unfortunate But yeah, it doesn't take away from the totality of his career. But right now, right now, he's not the Lewis Hamilton that we used to watch in 2021, 2020. It's not the same Lewis Hamilton. People can argue with me, but I don't know what the basis of your argument is. Now, I get accused of being a fake Lewis Hamilton fan and all these different things. Again, I've never once said I do not support Lewis Hamilton. You know, I've said I don't want to be classified as a fan of his because some of these fans are moving mad. I've definitely said that, but I've never said he is the problem. I will not support him. Yeah? This is how I support him. This is me being real. This is me being applying my standards to everyone, even if I support them. Because guess what? That's called being fair. It is being fair. If you call a spade and treat everyone the same, that's being fair. Just like when Oscar crashed in Baku. I could have done the simplistic thing and said, oh, Oscar's never crashed in a Grand Prix, guys. This must be sabotage. No, I said, Oscar, you're an idiot. You had such a big points advantage and you throw it away. You're not under pressure. If Lando crashed, if Max crashed, which Max doesn't crash, but if he did, I would understand. Why? They're chasing you. They're chasing you. You're not chasing anyone. You are the leader. Why are you crashing for? And thanks to that crash, it has allowed McLaren to engineer the result they want. Maybe before that, they were like, yeah, it's too big a gap, you know. Max is right there. We're going to have to, you know, prioritize Oscar or, you know, keep things the same. As soon as Oscar crashed and the gap got wiped out and Lando won the next Grand Prix, they were like, yep, this is exactly what we need. Perfect. Lando Norris error. The words that came from Zak Brown's mouth himself. Toto Wolff never referred to Formula One as the Lewis Hamilton error. Because realistically, you have two drivers there, don't you? Even Niki Lauda, God bless his soul, walked back his comments when it was either Lewis's second or third championship, man, and they asked Niki, can anyone beat Lewis Hamilton? And he said no. And then he walked it back because it looks bad you saying that because he has a teammate, right? And he was like, actually, I can't remember what he said, but they were asking, you know, after his championship win, like, is this guy just unbeatable? And he was like, yes, like no one can beat him, basically. Then he had to walk it back because you can't back one driver completely. It undermines the other driver. Here's Zak Brown saying that we're entering the Lando Norris era when he has a teammate. Obviously, this is what they want to see, right? But anyway, this is supposed to be about Lewis, man. I really hope this isn't true. But I had to let you guys know, because if it is real, then yeah, people need to wake up and understand what's happening, man. You know, and accept what's happened this year so far. I'm not going to get back into some of the things Lewis Hamilton called himself, but he knows this isn't... These standards are below him, 100%. You heard him when he won in Silverstone last year. He started crying. Said, I started doubting myself, X, Y, Z. Do you not think that he's going through that this year? Why do you think he was so disappointed with the stewarding? He was the only one to really get penalised, which is bullshit. You know, like I said, Max should have got a penalty for forcing another driver off the track into turn 3, which was the reason why Lewis left the track. But if Lewis would have still cut the track and gained the time that he did, he would have still got the penalty too. Now, people talking about Max was slow, that's irrelevant. Lewis was supposed to be with them slow through those sequence of corners too. It's like Monaco. Now, the illustration itself is terrible, but bear with me, all right? So this is Monaco. Say the Ferrari, the Red Bull, and what is that car? A Haas? Oh, no, wait. Say it's a Haas, yeah? Going into turn 1, as you can see, the Haas has been forced off the track, or possibly forced off the track. The Red Bull is trying to make a move on the Ferrari. Now, the Haas is predicting that we're not going to be able to get around this corner. So he goes down the escape road, yeah? Which makes him rejoin behind the Red Bull in front of the other one. Yeah, so he's in 4th now. The problem is, the other Red Bull and the Ferrari make contact into turn 1, and they block the track temporarily. They start moving eventually. You've gained a bunch of time for cutting the track. Now, yes, you was kind of forced off. That's fine. But realistically, you gained a lot of time because of what happened behind you. They have to penalise you. They have to. You gained through that sequence. Now, even if you was forced off and you slowed down, that's different. If you would have seen what happened in your rear view and you was like, oh, they crashed, cool, let me slow down because I don't want to see like I've gained a lasting advantage. But he didn't. And I don't know why he didn't, but that's the reality. And that's why he was penalised. And obviously in this situation, the Haas was P4 and they went defensive. Two cars then went down the inside, and obviously, like I said, they kind of got forced off the track a little bit or took avoiding action, knowing they can't go around that corner with three cars. That's why they done what they done. But yeah, you know, it was harsh. Like I said, I think a 5-second penalty would have been more reasonable for Lewis rather than 10. And it looks bad because obviously lap one, there's more leniency shown on lap one. That's why Charles and Max got away with cutting the track. And then obviously 2 laps later, you're not shown that leniency. So it looks really bad. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just really hope for the best for Lewis, man. I don't want to see his career end this way. I hope it is just rumours, and I really hope he can get a podium for the end of the year and really turn this around next year.